When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Insurance may all seem the same on the surface, but having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting a speech from your third cousin's +1 at your wedding when you needed a speech from your best man. You wouldn't settle for just any speech, so don't settle for just any insurance. When it comes to getting the help you need, State Farm is the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is Optimal Living Daily, Cycles of Life by Steve Pavlina of stevepavlina.com, and I'm Justin Malik. Welcome to Optimal Living Daily, or the OLD podcast, where I read to you from some of the best blogs I can find and get permission from, sometimes books, covering personal development or self-help, minimalism, productivity, anything that I think will make your life more meaningful. But I'll keep the intro short, so for now, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. Cycles of Life by Steve Pavlina of stevepavlina.com. A reader suggested I write about this topic. Explore the tension between being satisfied with what you have and your accomplishments versus the desire to do better. Being too complacent would yield suboptimal results because you're drifting and not getting close to your true potential. But push too hard and you may never enjoy what you have and may burn yourself out. So it would seem the optimal solution lies somewhere in the middle between the extremes. On the one hand, you have complacency. Think of this in positive terms, as enjoying what you have and being at peace with your current situation. And on the other hand, we have ambition and effort, the desire to keep moving and to improve yourself. The perceived conflict comes about as a choice between here and there. Stay put or move on, which is better? Is a perpetual balance between these two extremes the right answer, like 50% complacency and 50% ambition? Let's try a perspective shift, one that eliminates the problem entirely. This problem arises from the assumption of a static view of life, that every moment is the same as every other, that if being ambitious is the answer right now, it will still be the right choice tomorrow. Life isn't static though. When you take a snapshot, here is where I am now view of your life, you reinforce a flawed view of reality. Life is always in motion. Look at the cells in your body. If they ever go into a static state and stop moving, you're dead. They're doing different things at different times. Sometimes your body must shut down to fight illness. Other times it's happy to move around and get some exercise. There's no single right thing for your cells to be doing at all times. Movement and change are integral to life itself. In life, there's no status quo. Think about the momentum of different areas of your life right now. What's expanding? What's contracting? Instead of thinking of complacency versus ambition as some percentage mixture in the present, think of long-term cycles of expansion versus contraction. Cycles of ebb and flow are a natural part of life. Notice what type of cycle you're in right now. If you're in an expansion cycle, then you push your ambition as far as it will take you and forget about complacency. If you're in a contraction cycle, then take a break from ambition and spend time on your inward development. Sometimes these cycles last for years. From about mid-2004 onward, I've been in a massive expansion phase. Trying new things, meeting new people, starting a new business. Before that, I was in a contraction phase for many months, thinking and contemplating, doing lots of reading, turning inward, and reassessing my priorities. There are even cycles within cycles, like periods of short-term contraction during a long-term expansion period. It's like the stock market. You have long-term bull and bear markets and short-term bull and bear days and weeks. At the time of this posting, it appears we're having some bear days in an otherwise bull market. Cycles within cycles. So just as a stock investor needs to know when to buy and sell, you must listen to the signals from your own life, both internal and external, to learn when it's time to expand or contract. Every day is different. Sometimes buying and expansion is right, and other times selling and contraction is right. You don't balance the two, you cycle between them. One of my favorite treatments of this subject can be found in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes 3:1-8. The whole book of Ecclesiastes is an interesting story about a man searching for the ultimate source of joy in life, eventually succeeding by identifying it as the fulfillment that comes from hard work. Quote, To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to cast away. A time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time of war, and a time of peace." End quote. Life is constantly cycling through expansion and contraction phases. Sometimes we're able to go out and do no wrong. Other times we run home licking our wounds. By recognizing what kind of cycle you're in, you can flow with it instead of fighting it. In a contraction phase, this means spending a lot of time thinking and journaling, reading, working on personal development to build your skills, going to school, spending lots of time with family. In an expansion phase, it means taking on some ambitious projects and stretching yourself, joining new clubs, meeting new people, taking on new responsibilities, enjoying new experiences. What happens in your life when your decisions are out of phase with your current cycle? What happens to a stock investor whose decisions are out of phase with the market? Problems also occur when we get stuck in one phase for too long. A prolonged contraction phase can lead to depression, both in the stock market and in your personal life. A prolonged expansion phase can build stress and anxiety. Life requires cycles of exertion and rest. That's what makes us stronger. What is your life calling for right now? Should you be contracting or expanding? Is this the time to reinvent yourself in private or express yourself in public? You just listened to the post titled Cycles of Life by Steve Pavlina of stevepavlina.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Huge savings on Dell AI PCs are here, and it's a big deal. Why? Because Dell AI PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors are newly designed to help you do more, faster. It's pretty amazing what they can do in a day's work. They can generate code, edit images, multitask without lag, draft emails, summarize documents, create live translations. They can even extend your battery life so you never have to worry about forgetting your charger. It's like having a personal assistant built right into your PC to cover the menial tasks so you can focus on what matters. That's the power of Dell AI with Intel inside. With deals on Dell AI PCs like the Dell 16 Plus starting at $749.99, it's the perfect time to refresh your tech and take back your time. Upgrade your AI PC today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Thank you to Steve. This post was written over 15 years ago and still so relevant today. I'm sure you can relate to this one. A big aha moment for me in this article was when he was talking about taking snapshots. He said, when you take a snapshot, here's where I am right now view of your life, you reinforce a flawed view of reality. And that's so true, and a running theme of this podcast. That pretty much none of the practices you hear about on this show, like minimalism, self-care, exercise, meditation, any of that stuff, it's not an end goal or snapshot. It's a constantly changing thing. So to answer this question of growing versus contracting in that way too, of sort of, why not both, is a great way to think about it. I think I'll leave it there for today. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being here and listening to me and for subscribing to the show. And I'll be back tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.